Welcome to Evolve Your Life, the podcast where values meet vision, ambition meets alignment, and family fuels your purpose. I'm Dr. Stefanie Ascher, chiropractor, entrepreneur, homeschool mom, cancer warrior, and your go-to girl for building harmony in every area of life. Around here, women step into living fully and authentically, and we believe you are capable and worthy of it all. So grab your coffee, get cozy, and let's evolve your life together. Hey love, welcome back to Evolve Your Life. Today's episode is a year in review. 2025 was an incredible year. It was full of so many beautiful moments and also a lot of deep internal work. So today I am going to share with you not just the highlights, but also the discomfort, the courage, and also the realizations that I've had that have shaped this year to be one for the record books. The intention of this episode is to reflect really honestly on the highs, the hard, and also who I became along the way. This year was a big shift for me in terms of my health and my healing and my gratitude for life. 2024 was a very difficult year for me. Something that people don't talk about much is after you finish going through a cancer battle, you get out of this survival state and you have to learn to live after your survival. And so 2024 was hard for me. There were a lot of firsts. There was a lot of new. I was processing a lot of trauma and grief, and I was learning how to live life in a new and different way because life will never be the same after everything that I faced. And so in 2025, it was a year of learning to have gratitude mixed with grief. It was learning how to rebuild trust with my body. And healing for me hasn't been about forgetting, but it's about integrating into new life. And so I celebrated 2 years cancer-free in 2025, which was such a huge milestone for me, especially just being 2 years away from the end of treatment and having only 1 year left in my recurrence window. I have been able to learn to live with a lot less fear and more trust. So we also decreased the frequency of my PET scans this year. I was getting them every 3 months. So now I am getting them every 6 months. And I've just felt like I've been able to return to joy without always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so part of not carrying this fear and unknown in my body just has allowed me to be a lot more present in my life because I'm not worrying and waiting for something to go wrong like I was all of last year. And so we've done some really fun things this year, especially with the boys. We went to Legoland. We, of course, did our Disney trips. We started homeschool co-op with the boys, which has brought them so much joy. They love it. We did a fun Orlando family trip with our friends. We went on a cruise for Grayson's birthday, and that family and presence means so much to me because when I was faced with the reality that I might not see my kids grow up, it was all of these things that I missed, and I was worried about not having with them. Not just the big things like the trips, but also the special moments like the extra snuggles in bed in the morning, the sweet little kisses, seeing their dirty little fingerprints all over my windows and the mirrors in the garage gym. And so I'm just so grateful for every little moment with them to get to watch them learn and grow and become the sweetest, smartest, most spunkiest and sassiest little humans is just so fulfilling for me and something that I am so grateful for. And this year also still held a lot of deep internal work. I had to really learn to let go to be able to grow. I was holding on to a lot of versions of myself that I had outgrew. Something that I realized this year was my identity was aligned. Something that I learned this year is that my identity was aligned with where I'm going next, even though I was still living in my current reality and my old identity. And so I had to let go of that. And when you let go of an old version of yourself, there's also a lot of grief that can come along with that. I also had to check my ego at the door because stepping into a season of new and different required me to release a lot of expectations and also being okay with learning new and different things that I do not yet know or did not know that I needed to learn to step into the new version of who I am and who I'm becoming. And something that can be really difficult is accepting that not everything comes with us into our next level of expansion and growth. And grief isn't always about the loss of people, even though there was that this year as well. It can be about identity and about who you are becoming and how you're changing. But it's really important to be able to sit with the discomfort instead of rushing past it or being crushed by it. I love being uncomfortable. I thrive in chaos. And I know that's probably not always healthy, but I love to sit in it and wonder why things are triggering me, what's coming up in my thoughts and in my feelings, and what are the triggers that I can identify so that I can then work through to become the next level of myself. This year was all about seeking discomfort and stepping into new levels of risk and big rooms. And so I chose courage over comfort a lot this year. Fun fact about me, I love people. I love my people. I am very outgoing and energetic, but I am an introverted extrovert at its finest. I am either on or I'm off. So for me, stepping into big rooms with new and different people can actually be extremely challenging. And this year, I had the honor and privilege of stepping into rooms that I could have only ever dreamed of being in before. And those rooms have changed my life. In May, I went to Nashville for Profit and Purpose with the Wealthy Practitioner. And this was really the first time that I walked into a room and could feel the energy and the vibrations bouncing off the walls. I have never been in a room that felt like that room did. And it only increased and expanded from there. I joined the Wealthy Practitioner this year. I attended 3 of their events and I did 90-day sprint, which was a complete overhaul and deep dive into my business. I'm so blessed to receive an invitation to join Expanders, and that group has changed me in ways that I still don't have words for. And so this year was full of retreats and events for the Wealthy Practitioner. So it started in Nashville. And then I went to Kansas City for the Wealthy Practitioner pop up. And then I went to Scottsdale, Arizona for the Expanders retreat. And every time I get in the room with these people, not only do I learn more and get more clarity in my vision and my plans and my growth and where I'm going next, but it's such a time of deep internal reflection of who I am, who I'm becoming, the things that I need to let go to become that person, the things I need to do more of. And it just elevates you to a different standard of being and living. Something that I always feel after I leave these rooms and events is like I am on fire and so inspired and excited. And I also feel like I got my ass kicked. And I feel like that's how you know you're in the right room. Because if you are not faced with the realities of the things that are holding you back, the false narratives that you're telling yourself, and also the things you need to let go of, you're not truly growing. You're just putting on a face and a glorious look for what's coming next. And that just doesn't get you to your goals and does not allow you to become who you need to be to achieve them. This year, I also had a lot of business growth and new responsibility. Our team grew this year. We brought on our first associate doctor, Dr. Olivia. She has been such a blessing to our team, our patients, our community, and to me as a person. I have loved integrating her into our practice and watching her grow and thrive. I love how people love her. I love how she loves our people. She makes being in practice so much more fun. We got to go on a road trip to Daytona Beach. We went to a seminar. We had a great dinner and some cocktails. With her on the team, we've had record months a lot of growth. The business is thriving, but it's also just made it so enjoyable, and it's brought a fresh spark for me to be in practice, and I've just loved it. It's also challenged my leadership and allowed me to release a lot of control, to check my ego at the door, to allow others to be all in on the vision and trust them with the execution of that, and to hold space for my growth and my team's growth. We also celebrated Maddie's 3-year office anniversary. She got promoted to office manager this year. We've had so many fun team things. We did a team Pilates morning. We did a girls' retreat day. We did an in-office yoga event. And I am just having so much fun in this season of practice. And after being at a point of burnout over the last couple of years where I wasn't even sure if I wanted to keep the business going, it is just a breath of fresh air. And I am loving this season of practice so much. And it's been really cool to learn with leadership that it's not always about doing more, but it's about holding the standard better and learning how we can be better, and to release our egos, learn to trust, and grow and lead by example, and just paving the path for other people to rise and thrive in their roles. This year has also brought a lot of joy. There's been friendship and celebration and so many highlights and memories for me. I was going back through my calendar of the year in order to prep for this episode, and I was reminded of all of the small moments and fun days that maybe they weren't weekends away or huge trips, but it was days and weekends that brought so much joy. One of them was I had a really fun girls' date with my friend Kayla. We went to brunch and to the bookstore, and I bought a bunch of books to stock the shelves in my new library. Steve and I did a Four Seasons trip to Palm Beach over Memorial Day week, just a little getaway. We went to Marco Island with the boys. The JW Marriott there is one of the best family resorts that I have been to. I highly recommend it. We had a girls' night out, me and Dr. Olivia, for her birthday, and we went to dinner in this really fun, fancy champagne bar in Sarasota. Steve and I celebrated his birthday in Las Vegas. We went to the Brandon Lake concert for my birthday, and that was one of the highlights of my life because Brandon Lake's music got me through my cancer battle, and that concert, just being in that room, was one of my favorite experiences ever. We also got to go back to Marco Island on Black Friday and hang out with my coach, Steph Wigner, and her family. And I've really been able to start learning and practicing choosing presence over productivity, and not being on my phone as much, and letting life just be really full and fun without feeling like I'm always having to earn it. And that has been so rewarding this year. I've also been walking through a season of learning to trust God's timing for my life. I am a doer. I am a type A person. I want to get shit done when I want it done, how I want it done. I want to control the narratives and the situations. And I've really learned over the last year how to let go of a lot of control and learn to be okay with not controlling the uncontrollable. And that has especially been true with the acquisition of my new commercial building. I am so excited about it. I went under contract for a commercial property on my birthday, and I will actually be closing on that property in just a few days. So by the time this podcast is live, I will be the proud owner of a commercial building, which will be the new home for Evolve. And I am so excited. These big leaps in practice, growth with team growth, and also the new building has been a lot of risk. It's a lot of financial risk. It's a lot of faith. And those two are very intimately intertwined. And I've also had to learn to let myself want more without guilt. And it's been really fun to steward the blessings well of all that Evolve has given me, and to reinvest back into Evolve so that we can step into Evolve 2.0. And I'm so excited for where that's going. This expansion is rooted in a lot of trust, and the vision is becoming tangible. I'm really excited to step into the new year with a commercial build out planned. So we will start construction around February, March, and be into the new space around June. We are also bringing on a third doctor to evolve, and we are making these moves to further the impact for our patients and our community. And it is such a gift and such a blessing to be able to do these things. These are things that have been on my vision board for years. In January, I will be releasing a mini series all about the building process, and you will hear me talk about how I actually toured this same building that I am purchasing in 2023, just 2 months before I received my cancer diagnosis. And then was not the time, but it's incredible to see how things come full circle. Also, with our new doctor that we're onboarding, I met her back in April, and we have been growing our relationship since then. And so she has had a contract signed for quite a while, and I am so excited to introduce her to our community, to integrate her into the team, and just to continue to be all in on the vision and the calling that God has created for my life, and to be taking these steps of faith to bring it all to fruition. The crazy thing is that this year was so full and it's still unfolding. So we will still be closing on the commercial building next week. We have Christmas, and then we have our family trip to the mountains in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Pigeon Forge. We are going to explore the mountains and enjoy some intentional time together. We'll also be doing a super fun adjusting shift on New Year's Eve to celebrate and wrap up the year here. The amazing thing is that after living most of this year feeling like I needed to earn the life that I'm living, it ended in such a deep breath of fresh air and a deep exhale. After I did my soul level recalibration, make sure you listen to that podcast. This year didn't end in striving, but it ended in being present and being intentional. And sometimes the sweetest moments can come last. And that's what I'm feeling right now. I am so grateful for all of the blessings of this year. I'm grateful for the highs, for the lows, for the challenges, for the lessons. And the biggest lesson wasn't about doing more, and that my worthiness is not tied to productivity, but I am just enough exactly as I am because God created me to be who I am and kept me here for a purpose. And that purpose is just to steward all of this well. So I am entering the new year rooted and grateful and open to receive whatever is meant for me. This year absolutely stretched me, but it also softened me and shaped me. And I invite you to reflect on your own year and focus on what you've been grateful for. Get a really clear vision and idea of the things that you are going to carry with you into this next season, and honor who you've become along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Evolve Your Life. If this episode inspired you, leave a review, share it with a friend, follow so you never miss a moment, and come connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Stefanie Ascher. Until next time, keep evolving your life boldly, beautifully, and unapologetically.